Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing a single player playthrough on 1.1. So if you went to last time, we actually did a little bit. It was a little bit of a longer episode. We had fully built and finished the fluid tank factory, which is going to be building all of our fluid tanks so that we could package some of the more dangerous chemicals in our world. At least some of them anyway. But yes, we did get a massive factory going for that, making 500 liquid fluid tanks a minute, which is, we needed like 450 or something like that, so we got that done. Also, we had finished up the vote for the poll, let that go all weekend, so thank you for all who participated in that. And we managed to move the power station over further into the ocean where we needed to with Satisfactory Calculator, so thank you guys for voting on that, and thank you for voting for moving the platform. Now we have so much more room for all of our generators, which is what we're going to be doing today and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's go. Alrighty then, and here we are. Oh, I can't fly. This is where we moved our plant to, our power plant. We're going to keep the design of the stair step. I'm actually pretty happy with the stair step design. It looks rather nice. I don't know what happened with this blueprint here. Oh, that's right. I changed the blueprint because the blueprint wasn't going to work. Yeah, okay, so I remember now. I remember what we were doing. A few things, like I said. We had moved this entire power plant. I mean, we go over here. Geez, there's a lot of lag. You know what that is? Is me connecting two different things with my hover pack, so it's lagging crap out of my game. My CPU definitely needs upgrade. Freaking got a little dinky i7, you know. Anyway, so this is where we got to, like I said, we got to last time. We got to move this, and look how much more room we have back there. It's so good. Man, Satisfactory Calculator is one of the best tools out there, in my opinion. I know there's Satisfactory Modeler, but I'm too lazy for Satisfactory Modeler. If you guys have ever used it, Satisfactory Modeler it's kind of like the calculator where you build a chain of production line for the most part and whatnot. But the problem with the modeler is you got to build each step yourself. Not that it really takes any effort, really. But like I've said before, I'm just too lazy for that. So it's just I'm just way too lazy for that kind of work. The calculator, all you gotta do is input your final output of what you want. So say you want to make computers and you want to make 100 a minute. You go in there, you select computers, you type in 100, and then you just let the calculator do its work. It calculates all the steps all the way back to the raw ore that you need for that, which is very, very awesome. And you can move all the nodules around. You don't have to leave it where it's at, but you can move all the little circles around to where you need them, so you can see all the production lines and everything else. Now it is a more direct connection, unlike the modeler, where the modeler is a little more neat when you do build it all yourself. The modeler is a lot more neat of a production line. You can actually model out your production line, going, well, I'm going to put a line of machines like this, so you put your lines of machines like that, and then you're like, okay, well, the machines back here, these need to go like this, and you put them like that, and then you can make the connections individually and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot nicer, but it's a lot more work as well. So, you know, I'm very partial to the calculator. I've been using the calculator for, years at this point. And, you know, hundreds of hours using that calculator to do all the math for me because, again, I'm lazy. So, alrighty. Well, first things first, before we get started with anything, we do need to fix this centering problem that we have. Because before, when I was building over there, I actually had to shift one power generator over. So we're going to delete one set on this side. Oh my gosh, the lag on that. Jeez, that is lagging a lot. Good thing I don't have any pipes or anything hooked up. I mean, it did have a little bit of wiring, but that's not going to hurt me. Yeah, the freaking lag on that's nuts. Alright, and then the next thing we gotta do, like I said, I had moved this over because there's a cliff over here. if we actually take a look at this cliff. There's a cliff right there. We were running into that cliff with it being perfectly centered, so I had to scooch it over. But then we ended up only being able to put 4 lines of generators, which is not enough. We need 240 generators. Well, we don't need. We're putting down 240 generators, 250% clock speed. But we need 240 generators in lines of 24. So we divide that by 24, which is 10 lines. And we only managed 4 before we ran out of space. So that was the whole reason for the move in the first place. But I let you guys vote on it, and you guys voted correctly. So if you guys voted incorrectly, I'd be furious. No, I would have done it. I would have not done it if you guys had voted no on that. So that was the whole reason for the vote, is, you know, for the community to more or less take part in certain decisions. Now I wanted to do, like I said, I wanted to do it, but at the same time, I'm just like, well, we haven't used any mods or any third-party software on this save ever since we started it with season 4 here. So that's why I was very hesitant to do that. But I wouldn't call that using a mod, technically. All we did was cut out like between 20 to 40 hours worth of works. That's all we did, was cut that out by moving. It literally took me like 2 hours to actually do the full move because I was messing with it, and then, you know, doing the showing you guys how to use that tool and how to move the stuff yourself and whatnot. So that way, if you're playing your Satisfactory game and you'd like to move something with Satisfactory Calculator, you now know how. I would hope. Let me just zoop that. Yes. Let me zoop. Let him zoop. Yeah, it's like let him cook. It's like let him zoop. Just filling in the space here. Yes. There's that. Okay. Same thing with this one. We go out 4, so that's 3. Okay. Right there. Turn on my flashlight. Right there. And just basically, I'm having to rebuild the staircase again. This will be my second time, but we have the space to do this now, so no worries there. Like, I could I could attempt to turn down the graphics, and that might get me a little more frames, but it's not going to give me a whole hell of a lot. That's why I haven't done it. It's just like, my game looks incredibly worse, and it plays, you know, I gain like 5 frames or maybe 10, if that. It's just like, is it really worth... Power! Why don't I have any power? Oh. Because I don't have any power there. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I'm gonna promote this again too, if you guys haven't seen. So yeah, I was looking for a bit of support on the TCG Card Shop Sims. So if you guys want to see that game, definitely check it out. I am considering playing that more often during the week. You know, because we're getting a few likes on it and getting some views and stuff and whatnot. So it seems to be that people want to see that, which is really nice. Because I really did enjoy playing that game. That game has it's satisfaction like Satisfactory. It's got a lot of satisfaction to it, but it's a different kind of satisfaction. It's more of like a collection style of satisfaction. Oh wait, we do have power here. Hold on. Okay. Actually, I need to do this. There we go. That way all that's connected. It is a little bit weird to connect it like that, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's just so much easier. Now we connect one as well. And then we can go ahead and remove all this extra we don't need. There we go. And yeah, there was I didn't have any other choice but to either move this or do it, or just move on in general with the game. There wasn't really a choice for me in that one, and it was just mainly just because the the way everything worked out in an unfortunate way. So it was like, well, what do you do in that situation? It's just like you don't want to spend the 20 plus hours to move everything. So yeah, it's like, nope, I'm not doing it. If people say to leave it where it is, I'm leaving it where it is, and I'm moving on, and we'll just have to deal with the consequences of me underestimating my space. I thought there would be a lot more space back there, but I was just like, because I remember saying it too. I remember going, hey, look at all the space we got back there. That's more than enough space to fit those 240 generators. And then I'm like calculating out, like, okay, how many generators do we need per? Because I'm gonna have planned on the dual staircase in the center. I was just like, okay, because it's an even, because the whole platform's an even number. So I'm like, okay, dual staircase in the center. How many do we want per side? And it's just like, well, what if we did 24 per side? It's like, well, I can't really do that because I'm gonna run into this and I'm running into that. And it's like, okay, we'll do 12, okay, and then it's like, oh, that's 10 lines. I might be able to fit that, and I start, and then it stacks up really fast as well. So, oh hey, look, some of my original walls still here too. I was lazy and didn't remove it. So yeah, it was just a complete blunder on my part. Just underestimated the space. But things like that, it's just like, I was willing to go either way. That's why, that's the main reason I put it up to a vote as well. So I'm like, I'm willing to leave it and just move on with the game, and we'll just have to deal with the consequences. Or we could move it, and I'll just let everybody vote on it, and we'll see what people say. And no, it was overwhelmingly move it with the calculator. So yeah, and with that many votes too, I mean, a lot of people took part in that. And it's just like, well, it was only well, now it's up to 32 people. I love how people still voting on it too. It's funny, but it's like, oh, it was only 32 people. It's just like, look, to me, that's a lot of people. Okay, and you look at my channel, that's a lot of peeps voting in on that stuff. Very nice. Very appreciated too. I always like doing stuff like that. I need to find a way for more like that. That's why I wanted to do streaming. But there's a big problem with streaming right now. It's just like the way my setup is, I wouldn't be able to do a good quality stream. I would at least want to do 1080p, and I know my PC's not capable of that. So it's just like, well, what do you do after that situation? It's just like, well, you just don't, because 720p, I think I could probably manage 720. It's just, I can't do it. I can't subjugate everyone to that. So yeah, it's just like, well, I have to do 1080p or nothing, because we watch in 1080p for my normal videos and whatnot, and that's fine. Looks like I remove these two. Get out of here. Yeah, these move with the platform. I think there's another platform tower underneath the. There's another one underneath there somewhere, and then yeah, my little blunders of going too far into the terrain. We're out in deep water though out here, so. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna finish moving these over and then get all these blueprints placed. Like I said, I'm gonna do a stair step style. We're gonna go like this, And actually, I might have enough room to have that extra space back there. As well, like this is like have a 5 space instead of a 4 space. I'll have to measure it out. Just to make sure we have enough space for everything. But if I can measure that out, and because our closest spot that we're going to end up, ooh, geez, power, give me power, please. No, okay. Whew, nope. Oh, it's just too far away. Okay, fine, I'll just do that. But our closest spot we're going to end up running into is going to be this cliff here, so yeah. But we're going to do the stair step, and once we get up to the up to the 5th line, that's going to be the tallest it's going to go, which is right here, and then we're going to stair step back down towards the land. So we're either going to run into this cliff here, or we're going to run into that thing there. But I need to measure it out to make sure I have enough space. And before I do too much more with this, I want to make sure I have enough space, because I might, just looking at this, it's like, hopefully I don't have to, but I might have to move this again and scooch it out a little bit further out into the ocean, But yeah, so I got to measure that, and I got to put down all these, generators, so I'm going to do all that. That's pretty boring, so we'll just go ahead and skip till where all that is done. So see you guys in a few hours. Which is probably what it's going to take, but for you guys it'll be a few seconds, so let's do it. Yeah, we are slowly getting there. Been a couple of hours. This is how far I've managed to get. Look how many generators we have. And you know what's even worse about it too? I got to hook up 240 generators, 2 pipes. That means I got to put down 2. I should have put down the floor hole in the blueprint, but yeah, just didn't happen. And I'm not gonna pick all these back up and then put the blueprint in, and stuff like that. So it's just not gonna happen. But yeah, we are getting pretty far. We ran into the cliff face again, but only this little corner ran into the cliff face. Everything else is fine. I didn't, unfortunately, I did not manage to fit. As you can see, we ran into the cliff face there. I did not manage to fit that extra so that we could have extra space, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, but look at that. It looks so cool though when you get all of them in a line. Yeah. And then yeah, just basically what I've been doing is just been saving the game. I still got my old save here. Yeah, we're at 887 hours so far. Yeah, it takes a while to save. It really does. And give it a minute. So we're at 890 hours, almost 891 hours. Yeah, this save is pretty big. Yeah, and I'm also pointing these the opposite way, so yeah, this is how I've been dealing with it. So what I do is I save, and then I do a line, and then I save, and then that sounds completely wrong. Didn't phrase it that way. I save and then put down my generators, and then save and put down. Yeah, we'll just avoid what I just said earlier. And then this one, of course. I mean, we could pull it the other way, but I'm not too worried. We'll just let all those build. Because you get too far, and eventually it does start to lag, and I'm sure it will crash if I keep pushing it too far. But yeah, it seems also with just with power buildings and stuff like that, they tend to lag the game out a little more. Oh, and we're out of that stuff again. Oh, I gotta wait for it to build back up. It's either that or I can buy it. I mean, I don't have very many tickets. I have 6 tickets left. That's not very many. Special. I suppose we could. We'll spend the rest of our tickets. I've actually got I got a pretty good stock of tickets hanging about, so it's not like I'm completely broke on tickets. Yeah, this stuff, the quartz crystal is just so expensive. Only get 3 stacks for that. What you got for me, Ada?
Parts purchase confirmed. Promotion delayed by X times part value plus fixed stock value.
Sorry. Good old Ada. Like, I wasn't gonna ever get a promotion anyway, so I don't know why you're even mentioning it. Yeah, it cost 104 each time. Alrighty, that's the other line done. And I've even started to plan out how I'm going to run the pipes and everything. We're going to run 10 pipes, of course. This is, 20 pipes. And this is going to be 10 pipes per side. So yeah, it's going to be very, very expensive as far as time and energy. Yeah, this might take us the rest of the week. It's like now it's starting to dawn on me how long this is gonna take, and it's just like, oh no. Oh boy, gonna take me a while especially because I gotta wait. That quartz crystal, I had 3 uploaders on that quartz crystal, and it's just because I'm taking 100 each time, and I think it only stacks to 100. Or maybe it stacks to 2, actually. I wasn't paying attention to it. Yeah, it's not great. Okay, and we're using up all the connections in here, which is fine. Yeah, look at this. It's actually not bad. With all of these blueprints right here, it's actually not bad. Maybe it's because they're so far spread out, or maybe it's because they're so simple, or... Yeah, I think maybe it's space related. Like the blueprints are so far spread out, there's not so much overlapping that it doesn't have issues with lag too much. It's actually not bad. Oh, and by the way, when I was loading up that other time, I didn't mention this, completely forgot about it, actually. When I was loading up the Satisfactory, or when I was loading up my save on Satisfactory Calculator, there's actually an error with it when loading it up. And this is just the website saying, hey, we're not going to be able to load in the actual models into the map. It literally turned the models off because I have over 750,000 objects. And it says over 750,000. Doesn't tell me exactly how many. If I had to guess, I'm probably somewhere in the 1.5 million range. Ish. Somewhere around there. I think I'm a little over half of the allowed objects in the entire game. Like the hard limit. There's 2 different limits. There's the limit per session, essentially, or what the thing can allocate before it does crash. And then there's the hard limit, which is the 2.6 million objects. Which, for a lot of players, 2.6 million is pretty hard to hit. I mean, the only way you're going to hit it is if you're doing what I'm doing, which is blueprints, a lot of objects and stuff like that, a lot of factory building, a lot of very large factory builds, for that matter. That's the only way you're really going to hit that limit very easily. Oh, man, look at this, though. So many fuel generators. I'm so glad we're going to be able to fit them all because, man, that's 150,000 megawatts of power. And then plus, if we want to do any boosters or anything like that, I'm actually going to be expanding the platform a little bit more. Not on this portion, but where the train stations are, we're actually going to expand that out a little bit more because we want battery banks on it, as well as yeah. So I want battery banks. That's the reason I'm doing it as well. So this right here is going to go from here to there roughly. And then the train lines are going to expand out, as well as I might just expand out the whole thing just to do that. But yeah, this looks great. I'm actually very happy. It's just a sea of red. Red and yellow. And oh, this looks so cool at night too. You can see all the generators because I got the LED strips on them. It just looks so good. Man, I am really happy about how this turned out as well. It is very good. But yeah, once I build a full line of generators, before I start the next line, I gotta build the platform. Yeah, so like I said, we're gonna have 20 pipes. Because we have 10 train stations, we have 2 output pipes, so each train station is going to be responsible for 2 pipes coming out, which is going to be roughly, what was it, 400 and some odd per minute, because it's 200 and some odd per pipe. I don't remember the exact math we had. Yeah, a lot of foundations. It is nutty, but that does give time for my stocks to rebuild and whatnot. So yeah, not bad though. This is not taking as long as I thought it would, but I haven't gotten to the logistics yet. The logistics is what takes the longest out of any factory build, really, for me. And I'm saying for me, not for everybody, but for me. When I go to build factories and stuff like that, what often takes the longest is not necessarily the detail work. The detail work is actually pretty easy, especially if I've got like blueprints or I got at least a vision in place for it all. It's the logistics. The logistics, setting up all the belts and the pipes and floor holes and splitters and mergers and just whatever the heck. Often, like I said, takes the longest. I spend more time doing logistics than I do anything else, for the most part. It's just how it's always been. I'm just going to complete this here. Yeah, but like I said, so far the PC is behaving. And now that I've said something, it's going to be curse of the commentator, right? Shouldn't have said anything. But yeah, so far though, like I said, it's been behaving. Like I said, I don't know why that specifically is. I know that my CPU is still maxed out, so. And it's just getting worse all the time. But hell, this right here, this power station, it may not seem like it's worth it, but this power station specifically is going to supply power for pretty much the rest of the game. The main reason I'm doing this is because if I can get to a point where nuclear power is optional, I'll still do it. We're still going to do nuclear power, absolutely. A full no waste facility I want to do. But now with this power station, it's optional. It's not necessary. I don't have to force myself into nuclear power right away. I can wait till phase 5, and I can just take my leisure pace once I build this. I can dismantle any other power stations that if I don't want them with this particular build. I can dismantle. There is one I'm gonna dismantle, and that is the original fuel power station, the very first one we built. That way that frees up that oil entirely. The platform is still going to exist. It's just not the power station that's sitting on top of it, which is like, I think it's like 20 generators, is not going to exist anymore. It's just, I'm going to get rid of that and all the machines making fuel. And we'll just get rid of that power station entirely, and we'll turn it into something. We'll find something else. Maybe we'll turn it into a factory or something like that at some point. If we've got any factories that we need to make something that's kind of out of the way, you know, kind of factories, kind of like the smart plating and the automated wiring and stuff. Those kind of factories like that are kind of just random. You know what I mean? They're not really related to a huge group of factories specifically. They're just kind of there. That's what I consider out of the way factories. It is those kinds. Yeah. It's like those kind of factories is just like, yeah, maybe we'll just leave those be. Or not leave those be. We'll just use that as a particular factory. Now, we are very, very close. Actually, we're past it. You guys remember this, Mark? Our future SAM factory? We're going to have to get into the SAM factory really soon. Because if we don't do it really soon, we're going to struggle at Phase 5, because Phase 5 uses a lot of reanimated SAM fluctuator stuff, at least from what I've, you know, accidentally seen, I'll say. Accidentally. Actually, that's kind of true. You know, when watching other people trying to support friends and stuff like that, playing Satisfactory and whatnot, you know, watching them play Satisfactory, see how they play their games, or, you know, so, you know, just to watch other channels, see how people do it differently, you end up accidentally seeing stuff that you didn't want to see, you know. To truly avoid that is to truly avoid YouTube, and it's just like, yeah, we're not doing that. I'll try to keep myself from seeing that stuff, but if it's accidentally shown, oh well. But yeah, we're definitely going to need a lot of SAM stuff from what I've seen. So yeah, that's just one of those. It's just one of those deals. I think we've given it enough time. Yeah, it looks like. So I can only place 10 of these, essentially, like one single line, and then we gotta let it rebuild. Everything else keeps up for the most part, so. Oh, come on. Ah, just one more. We're not going to get it before the autosave. Look at all of that flying out. Ooh, baby. And then freeze. And then freeze. Look at all this stuff. Ugh, so expensive, this blueprint. But I love it, though. I love this blueprint because it's easy to hook up, right? Easy to hook up power and everything. You can easily get it going, and everything works just fine. So it's very, very nice. Oh, there we go. Now we'll just let that build, or let the stock build back up for a quartz crystal. Yeah, because it only holds 1,000, so that means each stack is 200. Sorry, I was incorrect about that. So each stack is 200. I really wish I don't know if this is true or not. I'm pretty sure it's not, but I really do wish that when you got to say when you got later in the game, like the later stages, like now, there was more research to do when it comes to the dimensional depot to up that, and basically, like, say once you get to phase 4, it costs like certain, you know, it's very, very expensive or whatever, right? But it doubles the amount that the dimensional depot can hold. Like, we go from 5 stacks to 10 stacks. You know, it just that right there would completely change a lot of you know, how a lot of people do dimensional depots. Then we don't have to have so damn many of them just to keep up. We can let the stock build up and then go and place a whole crap load of stuff. Imagine how much concrete you'd be able to have. 5,000 concrete at your fingertips. It'd be amazing. But it only holds 5 stacks max. And being able to double the input speed, that would save even more on have dimensional depots. Just have one more upgrade for each: the upload speed and you double the upload speed, and then you put the and then you double the storage. There we go. I'm trying to think of the name. And you double the storage, and there you go. We're actually getting very close to having this done, and then we got to start doing logistics. I don't think we're going to get too far in the logistics chain today. I suspect that, yeah, we're definitely we're gonna run out of recording time. Probably. That's how it usually goes. I only got so much time in the day, man. I only got so much time in the day. Okay. So have we fully built up stock yet? No, we're about a little over halfway. Yeah, and I can't buy any more quartz crystal either. Oh, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run those 20 pipes, and I might have to expand this, but this middle section here that's got these ramps, yeah, I need to be able to fit 20 pipes on this, going from the very center, which is so the very farthest pipes, the pipes on that half of the facility, that's going to be 10. Those are going to be the closest ones to the center, and the 2 center ones are going to be the ones you select. So yeah, I need to be able to see if we can fit, just if we can fit 20 pipes. I don't think we can fit 20 pipes side by side. I don't think that's gonna work. Alrighty, so I finally got all 240 generators. Oh, well, that's a problem. Didn't even think about that. Oh well, we got 240 generators placed. I'll have to fix the overclocking later. I ran out of power shards. No. Wait, did it put power shards in it immediately anyway? Or did it just... Actually, I'm unsure if the blueprint would take the power shards out of the dimensional depot or not. If it's a blueprint, not if it's a copied machine, because I know that doesn't work. But did it do it for all of these? I'm actually very curious now. Power shards in that one. Okay, let's go all the way down to these. These are some of the last ones I placed, obviously. Power shards. It does take power shards out of the dimensional depot. Because I'm completely out of power shards, I have to grab a couple of stacks here. Just to have in my inventory as I usually do, but... Yeah. Yeah, it takes the power shards out of the dimensional depot if it's a blueprint. Interesting. Okay, that'll be something to know for later. I did not know that. That is something new. Something new I did not know. But yeah, so if you do this, it's not going to take the power shard. So you know how it's overclocked right now? How it's set to overclock? If I do this, middle click it, and then we wait for that to build real quick. So let it fully build. Yeah, it's a little laggy over here. It does not take the power shards. However, if it's a blueprint, let me let that build. Just keep letting it build. Okay, fully built. It takes the power shards out of the dimensional depot. That is interesting. Okay, something I did not know. It won't take the power shards if you're just copying the building, but it will take the power shards if it's a blueprint. All right, very nice. Okay, well, luckily we got that out of the way. But yeah, like I said, all 240 generators, fully overclocked at 250%, is now done and placed. Well, it's all placed. So just as a little reminder, if you guys don't know how much power this is going to be making, I said 150,000 megawatts. I'll show you the math on that. 625 megawatts, that is our target. So we're going to go 625. We're going to times that by 240. That is 150,000 megawatts of power. Now, obviously, this is not going to run right away. We don't have the ability to make ionized fuel indefinitely because it takes power shards to make ionized fuel. But we had made a decent amount of it. We got this train station plus all the storage, plus the storage back. I'm actually thinking about building this even higher, all of these, because if we can store that much fuel, let's say like this much fuel, is that higher? Okay, I think that's right at the level. Then we don't have to worry about pumps pushing it back up. You know what I mean? Because we got 5 plus the 6. So actually, let me see. I think this is perfectly level. Actually, I got an even better way to... Well, I don't know if the pipe will reach. I doubt the pipe will reach. But what we do is we put this on... we do... Let's see, what would be the best? Horizontal or vertical, probably. There's a little bit of lag going on. Okay, we can still do this. We place it here. We won't be able to put it down, but we can hit the H key. Let's see, how level is that? That's still... It's perfectly level. Can we hit the P key? Will that work? Nope. It cancels it. Eh! Get out of there. That is perfectly level. And just as an extra precaution... Yeah, I should be able to place that there. Okay, what is this? What kind of connection is that? So that's directly under the pipe. Now, if this is correct, this should go right at the foundation level, not slightly above. And I'm using default mode so it doesn't bend or do anything crazy. Yep, so it's slightly above. Yep, perfect. Okay. So then the pipe is exactly that level. All right. So when we start making a whole bunch of ionized fuel and start getting delivered over here, I'm going to have this much of it. And there's 2 reasons for this. One, we can have a whole bunch of fuel stored here so that if anything should happen, we've got enough time to be able to know that something's about to happen, to be able to realize. But on the same token, we don't have to, once this pipe comes out of here and goes down, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, we're going to pump it up to the top, and then we're going to trickle it down. Yeah, we're going to trickle it down. Once it comes out of this buffer here, that should account for all of these buffers up here. We should not need a single pump going to any of these generators, because we're at the same level as the highest point. We might need a pump for the last 2 pipes going up to the top, but other than that, we should not need a single pump. It's basically a water tower, essentially. I mean, what we could, it's really hard to do for what I'm trying to do, but yeah, we'll just take that pipe and connect it up to the top. But anyway, though, unfortunately, we are out of time for this episode, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. So next time, we'll do the logistics for all the pipe work, and I have decided as well that my battery banks are going to go back here, and we're going to dress them up like the I forget what they're called. I'll have to look them up, but they're the big box power thingies that are inside of power stations, like the substations and stuff. You've got these converters that are I think they're light converters, these big power boxes. I want to dress them up like that a little bit. I think that'd be really, really cool. And then we'll put them into Blueprint, and we'll just put a whole crap load of them back here. We got so much space to work with. So I know I said that about the generators, but those are only like 1 foundation in size, and we'll try to keep it that size. So, but anyway, like I said, with that though, that is going to be it. So we'll do the logistics next time and whatnot. And I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see on your screen right now. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.